Okay, we'll get started. We'd like to welcome our defending champion, Graeme McDowell, into our virtual interview room. Graeme, welcome back to the Corrales Puntacana Resort and Club Championship. This is a special place to anyone who steps on this property, but even more so for you. Take us back to your victory and what it meant for you to claim your fourth PGA Tour title here.
Yeah, John, thanks a lot. Nice to be back down here. I think it was a very important victory for me in 2019. I was playing on invites. I was kind of, had a tough category in the PGA Tour, and every opportunity was really important to me. So I came down here. I felt like I had a great attitude. I came down here kind of not feeling sorry for myself that I wasn't in the World Match Play, but I came down here and tried to take advantage of this opportunity and got off to a slow start and then played great Friday and Saturday and hung in there really well on Sunday against Chris Stroud, who played magnificently on Sunday last year, but managed to get the job done in the end. But like I say, it was a really important victory and great memories. I think it's important for me to come back down here this year and defend. Great memories here, and my game needs that little sort of injection of confidence anyway, so it's always great to come back to a golf course where you can make some birdies, as opposed to maybe a golf course that played there quite recently, maybe in the last 4 or 5 days, which birdies were a little tougher to come by up in Winged Foot, but great to be here this week.
Yep. Well, Graeme, it's been a challenging year for everyone. You managed to advance to the FedEx Cup playoffs for the 7th time. Talk a little bit about the challenges we've been through and how well your golf game has held up through it all.
Yeah, like you say, it's been a challenging year. Unfortunately, I had a little bit of a head of steam up sort of pre the break. Coming into the Players Championship, I felt like I was playing pretty well, and I enjoyed the break. It was great to spend time with the family. It was great to kind of focus on some other things, but at the same time, maybe took my eye off the ball with golf just for a second, and when we came back, I've struggled a little bit. I've struggled to play well. I've struggled kind of with the lack of intensity out here, the lack of crowds, just the general environment has just been different, and I haven't done a really good job kind of adapting to that. But listen, guys are getting it done every week, so there's no point trying to make excuses about it. I've got to work out how to make myself better and how to deal with this. Because this could be like this for the foreseeable future. But down in Dominican this week, we're going to have some fans here, sort of socially distanced in some corporate VIP areas, and that's kind of going to be a nice way to get some noise back out here and kind of get those sounds that we expect from tournament golf back a little bit.
And before we open it up to questions, what will be the key, do you think, defending on this golf course?
This is a unique golf course. It's not something we see a lot in the PGA Tour. When we come down to sort of places like Cancun and Puerto Rico, and obviously here in Dominican, different grass, past Palom, a lot to do with the weather here, how windy it can get in the afternoons. But this is going to be, like I mentioned earlier, as opposed to the U.S. Open last week. This is going to be about making some birdies this week. Will require probably 15 or 20 under par to win down here. So it's about taking advantage of the opportunities this course gives you. Drive it well, and get aggressive with your iron play, really. And I really putted well here last year as well. So if I can kind of get the putter crank back up and enjoy these greens again, I will hopefully have a good weekend.
All right, great. Well, thank you for that. We will open it up to questions. We'll remind the media to turn on your video function and also unmute your computer. We're going to start with Bernie McGuire.
G-Mac, hi.
Hey, Bernie, how you doing?
Pretty good. Listen, firstly, thanks for the access last week at the Winged Foot, because you probably realised when the USGA staff were talking to you, it was all the Irish lads. So appreciate that.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to have a conversation after a 76, but it's all good. Just for you, Bernie, I'll do it.
I felt sorry for the USGA staff having to ask you those questions.
No
I
worries.
Probably know from experience, not you, but other players would sort of keep walking. Listen, John mentioned it. Being back there now after a brutal week like last week, how much more is it sort of peace of mind, and you can open up the shoulders a bit more, even though you were opening up the shoulders pretty big time last week?
No, I kind of have. Yeah, I'm excited to get back on the golf course, to be honest with you. I mean, I feel like last week was extremely disappointing, no doubt about it. I went up there and I drove the ball awfully on Thursday, and proceeded to just continue to putt badly Thursday and Friday. So I used the weekend effectively. I got home and I got some work done, and I hit the reset button, and I'm excited to get back at it. I'm going to play. I think I'm going to play these next 3 weeks. I'm going to play here in Puntacana, and then head over and play the Scottish Open and the BMW PGA down in Wentworth. So I'm excited to play golf. Like I say, I felt like I used last week positively as opposed to negatively. I used it as a, as a kick, sort of to move me back in the right direction where I need to be, as opposed to just something that was going to get me down. So, looking forward to making some birdies this week.
Graeme, if I also just grab the opportunity to ask you a follow-up question. When you won last week when you won last year at the Dominican Republic, it seemed to be like a 12, 13 month really good period in your career, because you had a couple of top tens. I know you finished fourth in Hawaii at the start of this year. Then you went to Saudi Arabia and you won there, held off Justin Johnson. How important in the bigger career picture was that sort of 12, 13 month period?
Yeah, it's sort of, I mentioned it earlier to John, the win last year was really important because, like I say, I'd lost my sort of playing privileges, if you like, in the PGA Tour, and I was kind of scrambling around, cashing in some invites and some great relationships that I have with some tournaments, but that's not going to last forever, so you have to step up and you got to play well and you got to win a golf tournament, and the win last year was pivotal for me, and it really kicked me on into the sort of latter part of last year where I played pretty well, and then came out and, like you say, won in Saudi Arabia in the European Tour at the start of the year, and felt like I was continuing to play well, and the break derailed me a little bit, but that's just one of those things, it's derailing a lot of people in a lot of ways all over the world, so I'm certainly not going to sit here and kind of be resentful and disappointed. I just have to work out how to be better.
Listen, I don't want to steal the limelight here, but one last question. What do you make now of your fellow US Open champion following what took place last week at Wingfoot? And probably out of left field question, should the administrators of the game be a little concerned or not?
Now, listen, I think you have to take your hat off to Bryson DeChambeau and say, he certainly has not been a follower. He has cut his own path through the sort of wooded forest of professional golf and trying to work out how to kind of be the best. No, I think it's very, very, I certainly have no criticism of him at all. I think he's done a fantastic job. He's not everyone's cup of tea, perhaps, but like I say, a huge amount of respect for what he's accomplished and what he's doing. As regards what this means for the game of golf, I don't know. I don't think we have an equipment problem. I don't think we have a golf ball problem. I think we're in an era where guys are getting stronger and better and working out how to take advantage of the abilities that this equipment and the technology and the sort of capabilities of the human body, and to be able to drive it like a long drive guy, but be able to compete and play golf at the highest level in the PGA Tour. So, listen, hats off, and I don't think we've a problem in the sport, and I hope there's not an overreaction to this.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, let's go to Josh Gardner with Sky Sports.
Hi, Graeme, you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
How are you? Thank you for this. Can I just pick up off the back of that question on Bryson DeChambeau? When Tiger Woods burst onto the scene, and the way he changed golf, as a result, course had to become what's now known as like Tiger-proof. Do you think we'll ever see where courses have to be Bryson-proof?
I hope not. Let's put it that way. I hope we don't see Bryson proofing. I saw something on social media the other day which kind of just sort of plotted out his potential round around Augusta. If it was flat, calm, and conditions were right, what he would hit to every hole, and it looked kind of ridiculous. But no, listen, I get worried when I see holes like 17 at St Andrews kind of going 50-yard back. When you've got iconic golf holes. What would he do St Andrews? If Bryson got flat calm St Andrews right now, it would be silly. What he can do to the golf course would be kind of embarrassing, unfortunately. But thankfully there's more to golf than just that. Because St Andrews has more defense than just its length. It has weather. It has firmness. It has rough. It has it has pin position. So. And at the end of the day, it's not just Bryson DeChambeau hitting it a long way. We have lots of guys hitting it a very, very long way. I kind of feel like, a lot of attention's been focused on him because of how vocal he is about what he's done and the way he's changed his body and the way he's gone after the ball. So he's not the only guy who hits that long way out there, but certainly what he did to Wing Foot last week was very interesting. I think it suited his style of play because he has such an upright action, so he was able to kind of bomb it way up there in the rough and be able to control the ball out of the rough. And unfortunately, I was watching from the couch in the weekend because I played reasonably rubbish on Thursday and Friday. But I was more impressed about the way he controlled the ball out of the rough rather than the way he drove the ball. I mean, it was just impressive. And like I say, I think that speaks to the way he swings the club and how upright his action is. And like I say, hats off. I mean, it was pretty impressive.
If you don't mind me just following up on that, we did an interview yesterday with Eddie Pepperell, and he suggested a way of combating the longer driving distance was to use shorter length tees. What do you make of that?
I think it's very cerebral. I'd come up with a lot of ways to combat length before I think the length of the tee, but shorter tees. That's interesting. It's a valid enough point, to be fair to him, but I think there's, I don't see a situation where we're going to be limited on how high we can tee the ball anytime soon, but I don't know, it's an interesting one. I think golf's in a very interesting period. Like I say, I don't think we have a problem, and then I look at holes like 17 of St Andrews, like I mentioned, and I think, well, maybe do we have a problem, but I played the Open of St Andrews several times where they've kind of narrowed that hitting area up at around 280, 90 off the tee, and had super heavy rough both sides, and I mean that's a deterrent. That makes you lay back, so it's not about lengthening courses. It's there are so many different ways to protect them, but I think we're in an interesting time in the sport when the younger generation are being coached to hit the ball as hard as they possibly can, go find it, and we'll fix the direction part later. So it certainly wasn't how I was taught as a kid growing up, but I think the sport's healthy. I think we're okay right now. Like I say, I hope there's not an overreaction because I think we're doing okay, but it's certainly something to keep an eye on.
Graham, thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
Appreciate that.
All right, Graham, well, that's all the time that we have, but I would like to ask real quick before you go just about the fact that we are going to have a few fans back this week and also the Pro-Am, so if you can just comment on that.
Yeah, I think it's exciting, John. It's exciting to have, slight bit of normality coming back. Obviously it's going to be a limited number of fans down here. It's going to be done the right way. The people here at Group of Puntacana are certainly working hard to make sure that they execute a really safe game plan regards just keeping people safe. Having the Pro-Am back on Wednesday, such a key part of the PGA Tour. I mean, listen, love it or hate it, there's certainly some Pro-Ams out there that I love. I meet some great people, and there's Pro-Ams out there, that could probably, give it a miss from time to time, but it is an integral part of what we do here in the PGA Tour. I take them very seriously. It's an integral part of my preparation and being out there and playing the golf course reasonably competitively. So great to have it back, and I'm looking forward to, like I said, I've missed the old environment a little bit, and perhaps this will give me a little bit of a taste of the old stuff again, and maybe straighten me back out and get me back on some leaderboards again.
All right, great. Well, Graham, thank you for your time today. Best of luck this week, and we're going to transition into our